the Persians went down.
At the top of that chapter, it says that, right?
Right. But when they fell, these were Edomites that rose up into power after they took down those Persian rulers.
The Persians, this is important. The Persians are the Iranians still today.
Gotcha.
They still know they're the Persians too.
Right.
The Persians, they still know.
Yeah. Right. So when they got taken down by the Edomites that were calling themselves now the Greeks, this is how it all went down. Evils were multiplied in the earth.
Gotcha.
And the original Greeks were the children of Japheth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those Japhethites were Medes. That's why when they had when the Persians were ruling, it was kind of like a joint rulership because the Medes took down the Babylonians and the Persians rose up and they were more powerful than the Medes. So they basically absorbed into the Persian Empire.
Okay.
So the sons of Japheth, they were the original Grecians. But then when the so-called white man came to power, he took that land and he took the name.
Oh, he took over the Grecians. So when I see them Grecians in the Bible, those is Edomites.
Yeah, talks about now, but in the ancient world it wasn't. That's how they got scattered out to the islands. You go into the history, they got scattered out to the islands. That's why they're now the Polynesian Islands.
Also the Romans too. Esau took that name.
Yeah.
Because Romans come from Romulus and Remus. And those are the two families.
Esau just be taking everybody's stuff.
Everybody tells you that.
Everybody's like that. Micah 2 and 2.
Everybody's like that. All right, okay, so
Micah 2 and 2.
Now I've heard a debate where people talk about Esau being the so-called white man, and then they say he could be the so-called Arab.
That's false. That's false. It's not the Arabs.
If there's a wicked man, name another wicked man on the earth as wicked as the so-called white man.
Hey, I'm gonna be honest, and I'm not trying to defend the white man, but the Arabs, they wicked too. You know, they over there with them swords. You know what I'm saying? They was giving the sword.
Say he's a wild man.
Right.
You know, but
right.
We ain't done with this.
Ishmael don't. The Arabs don't hold a candle to Esau.
Nah, this man,
the so-called white man.
This man got GMO.
Yeah.
We can label this man got chemtrails.
Right.
You know, water. This man is promoting transgenderism.
Right.
It's different high levels of wickedness.
Pedophilia.
Pedophilia is okay.
Bestiality.
Baby dildos.
Teaching your kids how to masturbate at age 8. That's what they do. Nice classes on it.
People drink blood.
I mean, the scriptures say he's the Malachi 1 and 4. He's the border of wickedness.
Right.
Yeah, those Arabs over there, those Muslims, they're wicked. But it doesn't hold a candle to the so-called white man's wickedness. So that they can't be Esau. Plus, if you want to deal with it geographically, a lot of them like to say, well, it's the Arabs because Petra, Jordan is in Arabia. But that's not true.
Plus, you don't know what the geographic location of where all these nations were at before. The so-called white man moved everybody around to try to hide who was who. And he renamed a lot of people after the conqueror.
And I said this earlier, what's the word Esau and what's the word Edom?
Say that again?
What's the word Esau and Edom?
I don't know.
The two words.
What does it mean?
Esau comes from the Hebrew word Aishah, which means wasted away. What's wasted away about the so-called white man? He's pigment.
He's the only man without pigment. He's the only one that's translucent, so to speak. You see his blood in his flesh. Even lighter, but even lighter Arabs, they may be light skinned, but you don't see to their blood.
Yeah, right.
They were conquered by Esau.
Some of them are mixed with Esau. Some of them are Arab means mixed. So some of them are Edomites, but like the actual devout Muslims with the pigment that's fighting with those so-called Jews.
Yeah.
Those are straight up Ishmaelites. Right? The darker skinned ones, those are Ishmaelites. That's not Esau.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, I was go ahead.
I want to say the word Edom comes from the Hebrew word Adawam, which means red.
Yep.
So the so-called white man, he's red.
Right.
He's not white, he's red.
Right.
The pink derivative of red.
All right, so let me ask y'all this. I was doing a study yesterday on wisdom and looking at like Proverbs and Sirach and Wisdom of Solomon. It took me from wisdom, and it was like, okay, you get your wisdom, and with all you're getting, get understanding. And when I went into Sirach, I'm like, okay, all right, how do I get this wisdom? You know what I mean? And so when I went into Sirach, he was like, yo, the beginning of wisdom is fearing the Most High. That fear. So now I'm breaking it down. I'm like, all right, how do you fear the Most High? So I'm thinking it's like, does it mean trusting the Most High, believing Him, being afraid of Him? How does that break down for myself and for whoever's watching?
It tells you in the first chapter.
Okay.
It tells you in the first chapter, it's right.
So that fear, what I arrived at was keeping the commandments. I feel like it's our way of saying, I fear you, I love you, I trust you, I believe you. I'm keeping these commandments.
Okay, that's what it is. Yeah.
So it all kind of.
This is wisdom. A married woman comes to you, and she look hella good.
Okay.
She fine as hell.
Okay.
Thick and all that.
Okay.
Everything you like.
Everything that you like.
Okay.
She comes and you know, she doesn't have her husband with her.
Okay.
She's by herself.
Okay.
So you kind of like, I'm kind of tempted. I kind of want to go over and see what's up with this chick.
Okay.
Your urge is like, just go on and just at least ask.
Okay.
So you go over there and you ask, excuse me, miss, you know, I'm not trying to ruin your day. I just want to ask you a curious question. Are you married? You single? The way these women are in this society, they ain't gotta tell you the truth. They ain't gotta. They don't have to
And they
prove
not.
to you nothing.
Right.
So she could be like, well, no, I'm not at the moment. You know, it's complicated. You know, we're not talking right now. We going through problems, so you know, I'm not really dealing with nobody right now. Wisdom will tell you.
When in doubt, throw it out.
Right. When in doubt, throw it out. I like
Because you already know that these women, you know, the society is, especially for these women, they have that liberty and freedom to be whores, that shameless whore culture that America's about. So these women, they ain't gotta tell you the truth. So they do that and they go around and they lie with different men.
Right.
You gotta have the discernment and you gotta have it in the back of your mind, like, man, this chick she probably lying.
Right.
And that's why sometimes you gotta interrogate. You gotta do like your investigation.
Right. You gotta test them.
You gotta kind of test them.
Yeah.
Say the right things to get them to spill the beans.
Right.
That's using wisdom, because if you just simple,
just jumping into it,
you just gonna jump into it, and you gonna find out later.
I messed up.
And dude might come through with a Glock.
That's
like,
good talk.
nigga, you the one that's been popping my woman.
Right. Or anything. Yeah. She could have an STD, anything.
Anything, right?
But you ain't.
So wisdom basically told you, no, the Most High could jack me up if I do this.
Right.
Nah. You know, you look good, but you know.
But is that wisdom something that you just know, or is it something that you hold up to the book? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
if wisdom is basically the applying of what's in the book. Every situation that you face with,
you have to line it up.
There's scriptures that's gonna be in your mind that's gonna make you remind you.
Right.
This is how I deal with that situation. Go ahead, man.
So
we kind of got away from the Gentile thing, you know, but that's how the spirit is.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 1 verse 14. To fear the Lord is the beginning of wisdom.
Right.
And it was created with the faithful in the womb. Mm-hmm. So the fear of the Lord is knowing the following the law, statutes, commandments. Right. Then you get the wisdom.
Right. And see, that's where I got caught up yesterday when I was studying, because I'm like, I hear this fear, but I'm like, all right, God, how do I fear you? And then it was like, keep the commandments.
Yeah, through this, you know, you get experience and stuff like
Right.
that.
When was that Paul that said that? He said, start with these easy ones. He was like, start with these easy commandments first.
Okay.
You know, and he had a small list. And he said, then you'll grow. Basically, he's saying you'll grow from there. You'll grow in wisdom. Right. I always forget what that one's at.
Yeah,
that was Wisdom of Solomon, the first chapter you was reading?
No, it's a rock.
Sirach, you right there about what was Solomon.
How's it go?
Never mind.
Where it says start with some commandments first, or start with some laws first?
Yeah, he gave
That's in
the Israelites. The reason you know that they're not Israelites because he says in the book of Psalms, he didn't give his book as commandments to anybody else.
Right.
Only you have I known all the family of Christ.
Right.
So why would he then want to give it to the Gentiles later? It don't make sense.
It don't make sense.
You know what I'm
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, Sirach, chapter 4 and verse 11. It says, "Wisdom exalteth her children, and layeth hold of them that seek her." Then we jump down to verse 17.
Okay.
It says, "For at the first she will walk with him by crooked ways, and bring fear and dread upon him, and torment him with her discipline."
Hey, when you think about it, when you do something that you normally do, you don't always yourself before you do something that you normally do, you be like, damn, that didn't work out.
Right.
I almost got real messed up by that.
Right.
That's wisdom walking with you by crooked ways, because the right thing pops in your head also.
Yeah.
And you didn't do it.
Right.
But now I'm going to start judging you harshly. You're going to start getting jacked up by not using this wisdom.
Choose the right path.
It says, "And bring fear and dread upon him, and torment him with her discipline, until she may trust his soul, and try him by her laws. Then will she return the straight way unto him, and comfort him, and show him her secrets."
Hey, because when the secrets are revealed of wisdom, now I know what to do. I know how to work out every situation.
Right.
Because I'm applying the wisdom I know.
Right.
And I've been good since I've been applying this wisdom.
And that wisdom is what? Walking in the law, statutes, and commandments?
It's that, but applying all the wisdom to it. You know, just applying
You
everything.
gain wisdom through experience.
Right.
You got to go through things for wisdom to try.
You have to have a situation to apply it, to gain experience, to learn how to use it.
Yeah, in real time.
Yeah, because if you know, say like Vegas,
Right.
women come here all day in Vegas, have girls trips or whatever
Yeah,
else,
yeah.
and you be like, y'all married, like one of them wicked ass women in the group will say, we all single
Right.
for this weekend.
Right.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Right.
But you gotta be able to, hey, let me hold your hand, sweet day. Feeling for rings, looking for ring
Imprints.
suntans and shit, you know what I'm saying? You gotta use little, but that, you don't say that in here.
Right.
That's not a commandment, but you're using wisdom.
Right.
Because the commandment is not to be with a woman,
Right.
it's not to be with a married woman.
Right.
So you interrogate them, like the brother was saying, to figure it out. You gotta go a step beyond to make sure, but you're applying that so I don't fall into that snare. That's something.
And this is Acts 15 and
Yeah, I think that's right.
28. For it seemed good to the Holy Spirit and to us to lay upon you no greater burden than these necessary things, that ye abstain from meats offered to idols, and from blood, and from things strangled, and from fornication, from which if ye keep yourselves, ye shall do well.
You can keep these basic ones, you'll do well.
Right.
That'll clear you up enough to where you can gain. And as I always like to say, once you start with a few things that you can deal with, the Most High will open up a way for you to keep more, and then keep adding more and more and more, getting closer and closer to increasing righteousness.
Start to build yourself up.
This is 15 and 19. Wherefore my sentence is that we trouble not them, from which among the Gentiles are turned unto the Most High Yahweh.
Because what if I told you right now, hey man, you can't have diverse cloths on, man. You know, cotton and linen, man, and silk. You can't be mingling those, bro. You know, like who's keeping that? Who can really keep something that serious? You know, so you got to work up to it till your spirit is able to deal with that.
Right.
You got to increase that way. Right?
But that we write unto them that they abstain from pollution.
Paul had it figured out. Now look, these men are coming from a wicked ass society.
Right.
They still got that Gentile Greek mentality.
Right.
And we're waking them up, but we can't, you know, hey man, keep your beard down, man. You can do that one, that's all right. But it's gonna be awkward at first, but they can keep that. Hey, stop eating them abominable meats, man. You can still, it's not a food, it's still chicken. You gotta eat catfish and you know.
And I wanted to bring up that point right there. But keep going, keep going.
No, go ahead.
So all right, so this is one that jacked me up. I'm gonna be perfectly transparent and honest. I was going into the Old Testament looking at the Levitical, you know, what we're supposed to eat. We ain't supposed to eat that. We ain't supposed to eat that pork. You know, it's got to chew if it don't chew if the cud and things like that. So I was doing away with those things. I was doing away with the pork. I was doing away with the shellfish. You know, I was getting ready to go on a trip. Right before I had found out about this, I was already going on a trip to go for some seafood. It was like the whole thing. And right before my trip, I learned I can't have seafood. So I'm like, all right, I'm down. I'm gonna show you I love it. You know, this is an opportunity for me to show you I love it. But then I read in the New Testament where Jesus was talking about the unclean hands. And he was talking about it's not what goes into the body that defileth a man, but will come out. So I felt like he was telling us we can eat anything now. So can y'all clear that up for me?
Matthew 5 and 17.
I mean, really.
You gotta read it all the way
Well,
down.
I know 5 and 17. He said I ain't come to
But you gotta read it all the way
show the
down.
law, but right. And I'm clinging to that, but I couldn't. For me, I couldn't get around him telling them that it's not what go into you that defileth you, but will come out. I couldn't get around it. And
Go to Matthew 15.
That's talking about.
Tell me what that means to you. What that scripture, somebody. You know,
well, when I was in that debate with somebody, they was trying to say you can eat anything, but with me, I'm like, no, they just talking about washing of the hands. Because I wanted to cling to the Levitical law. I want to cling to these things.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I was fighting for that truth to say, no, we can't eat no shellfish. No, we can't eat no pork. No. And they like, nah, you can now. Look, this scripture say you can now. You know, a lot of times when you have debates, just the same way they did to us in slavery, they can take scriptures and twist them, and it seems right to us. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad I'm here talking to y'all to get a little bit more clarity on some things, because I'm out here like in the middle of the street with a sword, man, trying to fight on. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, you get your ass.
Yeah, absolutely. Y'all on YouTube or something? Y'all.
And what we're doing, this is a commandment from the Heavenly Father.
Right.
We
Go
gotta
out into
teach
the
our
highways
people.
and byways.
Exactly.
Right.
We on YouTube live right now.
So answer all your questions.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm gonna go to y'all YouTube now, man. And check
Matthew
y'all out.
15 and
We was gonna answer this. Then. I don't know if you gotta leave right now or what you about to do.
No, I'm chilling, man. This is where I'm supposed to be right now. What's the name of y'all page?
start at verse 6. You gonna read all the way down to
Sin City, Las Vegas. Is what the line is.
It's Matthew 15 and 6. And honor not his father or his mother, he shall be free. Thus have ye made the commandment of Yahweh of none effect by your tradition. Ye hypocrites.
the whole argument in this chapter was about these wicked scribes and Pharisees. They were trying to place burdens on people to keep these certain traditions.
Right.
It wasn't even Levitical. It wasn't really like it's ordained or commanded by the law.
Okay.
These were just man-made commandments or traditions that they carried.
Right.
And they were trying to push it off like it was the law.
Right.
And one of those traditions was you can't be eating with dirty hands.
Okay.
So the Lord had to correct them.
Got you.
So let's read that.
So I'm sorry, you in what, brother?
Matthew the 15th chapter.
Matthew 15 and what?
Yeah, verse 6. Well, it's 7 now, yeah.
Okay,
We just
Matthew-
read verse 6.
Chapter 15. Chapter 15, verse 7.
Ye hypocrites, well did Isaiah prophesy you saying,
That's how I say it.
this people draweth nigh unto me with their mouth, and honoreth me with their lips, but their heart is far from me.
Right.
But in vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men.
Right.
So wash your hands, that's not a commandment in the law. That's just something that man came up with.
Right.
It just became a tradition.
Got you.
But you don't try to enforce that like you going off because you didn't wash your
It
hands.
might be a smart thing to do,
Right.
but it's not a commandment. What if you just got up, you just rose, up, you dirty, you fell out of a tree or something and was knocked out, you wake up, you about to perish, but just water, or something to eat. You don't worry about if your hands are clean or not.
Or you can take it from the example of you tilling the field and you see some berries or fruits that you want to eat. Yeah, and water not necessarily by you, what you gonna do? You gonna pick it up, like brush the fruit off a little bit and you go eat it. You know?
Yeah, they were trying to be a bunch of germaphobes.
Yeah.
Go ahead, bro.
But in vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men. And he called the multitude and said unto them, Hear and understand, not that which goeth into the mouth defileth the man, but that which cometh out of the mouth, this defileth the man. Then came his disciples and said unto him,
Now people are trying to say, they'll stop them and be like, so I can eat anything I want. But hold on, does it make sense? I can eat something unclean, and I'm clean, but if it gotta come out of you.
Right.
How does that make you? How is that unclean? But what you put into you is clean.
Right. Hey, and what
That doesn't make any sense.
Unclean thing clean.
Right.
Made an unclean thing clean.
Basically, what they're saying is because the Lord was being spiritual here.
So
When you can feed yourself with different things that can pollute your mind.
right.
What goes into your mind can pollute you.
That's what I was.
Go from there to first. I think it's what 1 Timothy 4, real quick. 1 Timothy 4 and 1.
Who you were talking to, they try to go to Acts and justify that also?
And you were going to Acts 10
No,
chapter?
it was just that one right there. It was like, yo, Jesus is saying you can put anything in your stomach and it come out into the draught, whatever the draught is, and it's all good. You can eat anything now.
No, that's cool.
What's going on?
1 Timothy 1, right? Yeah. It says, Now the Spirit speaketh expressly in the latter times, some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils, speaking lies and hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with a hot iron.
Your conscience.
Right.
Having it, so basically, you're gonna have in these last days seducing spirits. You're gonna have false prophets that's gonna deceive people with fair speeches.
Yeah.
They're gonna be putting wrong ideas in your head that can pollute you and lead you astray from following the path.
The strange women.
Like a strange woman. It's the analogy. That's the analogy of a strange philosophy.
Right.
Colossians 2.
That's why the scriptures also tell you, winnow not into every wind of doctrine. Don't just be out here trying to pick from this and then go into that, because this is going to pollute your mind.
Gotcha.
These ain't going to line up, and you're going to have to, your mind will have to try to find a way to piece it together, make it make sense. And you're going to be in error.
Because you're going to...
You can't, if you think about it, like we're talking about Jeremy before, if I got a clean plate of food, and then I take something dirty off the ground, put in that plate of food, the whole plate is now about to be dirty. You know? The germs is going to spread. So the bad doctrine or the bad philosophy is going to spread it to the good. Now you're questioning if the earth is round, or if it's flat, or,
all over the place. But I notice, man, I'm noticing the more I get into this word, y'all talk about, the strange women. These are examples. But I'm noticing everything in this land is designed to contradict this word. And they normalized it. So we're living a life that appears normal, but we're in error.
Exactly.
Everything. I'm like, I have to unlearn everything.
Who have changed the truth of the Most High into a lie.
Humble yourself as a newborn babe.
Yeah. Got to start over.
Start over. Build it from the foundations up. Also, before we go,
we are renewed in the spirit of thy mind.
Yeah.
I want to say this about, we're going to talk about common sense.
Right.
Because it's the same thing about God forgetting his own people and saying the law is done away with. The same common sense thing can clear all that up.
Right.
So if he chose a certain people, but then the certain people pissed him off, or if he said, follow these laws and commandments, but you ain't been following them, so fuck it. Just do whatever you want. It'll be all right.
Right.
That don't make no sense.
That don't make no sense.
I had these laws for you because they're good for you.
Right.
But you ain't keeping them like you said you would. So I'm not just gonna let you just do it.
Yeah.
Same analogy. Your kid playing in the street. Hey, get your ass off the street before you get hit by a car.
Yeah.
Or you ain't gonna get yourself off the street. Fuck it, just play in the street, then it'll be all right.
Right.
That don't make
no sense.
For another example, our people have what disease? They have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes from diet, right?
Yeah.
So if you're still eating shrimp, because what? The shrimps, the crabs, all the shellfish, they're roaches of the ocean.
And that's pork, man.
They eat the dead animals.
Yeah.
And with the pork it has worms and stuff in his body and it don't sweat. So if you putting those same things, those same animals inside your system, you're gonna become acidic and be prone to those diseases.
A piggy anything too.
They were created for the purposes like when you read those dietary laws, he made the things that were to clear the air, to clean the things out the air. Vultures and all that, they clean the air, the things of the air. The things of the ground we're not supposed to eat, they clean the things of the ground. And these things of the sea. Right.
They're the filters. That's why same thing with the mussels, the scallops, those are still all animals that filter the water from and making it clean, you know? So you're not supposed to be eating that.
Right. The thing that's taking up all the dirt.
Exactly. you ingesting everything that it eats.
Right.
Let's read back to
Second chapter of Colossians, verse 8. It says, let me start at 7, Bible shop, bro. All right. It says, rooted up and built in him, and established in faith, as ye have been taught, abounding therein with thanksgiving. I'm talking about in the righteous things. But then it says, beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men.
The tradition of men, like these wicked scribes and Pharisees that the Lord was arguing with.
Right. It says, after the rudiments of the world, and not after the Mashiach.
Not after the anointing. Right. You know, beware of any man trying to, seduce you or get you to, come into this sect. Right. You know, come follow us. These are our restrictions. These are our, traditions. This is how we get down. Right. The Lord was like, no, follow the gospel. Right. All right. So go back to this in Matthew 15.
This is Matthew 15 and 11. Not that which goeth into the mouth defileth the man, but that which.
He ain't talking about shrimp, lobster, and crab. That's still unclean. Right. And it still will make you unclean.
But it will be a doctrine that makes you believe that it's all right now. That would defile you. Right. See how he's answering it, but he's also going above it, answering something deeper.
Yeah.
But that which cometh out of the mouth, this defileth the man.
Yeah, that's why it tells you in James the 3rd chapter to bridle your tongue, because your mouth is it's an unruly thing, man. It's deadly, man. It can get you. Life and death is in the tongue. Man. Right.
Then came his disciples and said unto him, knowest thou that the Pharisees were offended after they heard this saying? But he answered and said, every plant which my heavenly Father hath not planted shall be rooted up. Let them alone. They be blind leaders of the blind, and if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the ditch. Then answered Peter and said unto him, declare unto us this parable. And Yahushua said,
can you give us understanding what you meant by that, what you just told them?
And Yahushua said, are ye also yet without understanding?
Damn, you ignorant too? Right. Now I gotta tell y'all. Right.
Do not ye yet understand that whatsoever entereth in at the mouth goeth into the belly?
This go regular food is gonna go into your mouth, to your belly, through your intestines, the big, then the small intestines,
the large intestines, small intestines.
Yeah. Your digestive system is gonna come right out,
and it's cast out into the draught.
Yeah.
The draught. That's it there, right?
Yeah, the draught. Yeah.
But those things which proceed out of the mouth come forth from the heart.
The things that you speak, it comes from the mind.
Right.
Which is what defiles you, right?
Right.
And they defile the men. For out of the heart proceed evil thoughts, murders, adulteries, fornications, thefts, false witness, blasphemies. These are the things which defile a man. But to eat with unwashing hands defileth not a man.
So the people you was talking to, you should have just told them to finish reading the rest of that chapter.
All you got to do is read the rest of the chapter.
Matthew 5 and 17.
You got it?
Yeah, I appreciate it. Job chapter 14, verse 4.
Okay.
Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean thing? Not one.
Dang, I like that one. That's a crucial precept right there. That's a good one. All right, brothers, man, I'm gonna get going. You had another precept that last one? Yeah, go ahead, bring it up.
It's Matthew 5 and 17.
Okay.
Think not that I have come to destroy the law or the prophets.
This is the Lord himself saying.
Absolutely.
I have not come to destroy, but to fulfill.
So I came to fulfill all the laws of Moses, and all the prophecies of the prophets.
Right.
For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments and shall teach man so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven.
We're trying to be called great in the kingdom of heaven.
Man, it's scary, man. It's